And I'm just going to time it up by just clapping. You ready? You see that?
Yeah.
I definitely got it.
Action.
Okay, Coach St. Lawrence, how are you doing today?
Doing well.
Well, what do you do for a living?
I'm the athletic director at Monroe Woodbury High School.
Really? Aren't you guys the state champions?
We've had some success in football, Phil. Yep.
You did?
Yes, we have.
No kidding. Wow, congratulations, Coach.
Section 9 champs this year, 5th year in a row, and made it into the state playoffs.
Congratulations. That's quite an honor. Now, when did you first meet Phil?
Well, I've known Phil from his days at at Goshen, when he played football there, and I was actually thinking about when I saw him play in the Warwick versus Goshen football game, which has been big tradition. But I've known Phil for, how many years now? Maybe about 8 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Okay, and in your own words, how would you describe Phil?
Okay, I would say very outgoing, hard worker, very enthusiastic when he gets a task in mind. I find him to be very good with his peers, good people person, not afraid of hard work, and also very athletic.
Wow. And, Coach, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions, like to sort of just to get your mind rolling a little bit. If Phil were an animal, what would he be and why?
A wolverine. And I'll tell you why. It's the fiercest animal in North America. And I have a little bit of a football background, and I can always appreciate that tenacity that a wolverine has. Obviously, the connection to Michigan, too, is pretty good. But I would say he's pretty tenacious when it comes to how he approaches things and how he played football.
Awesome. And let's see here. What drives Phil to do what he does?
Well, I think he's got a lot of ambition. I think that he really is always interested in trying to do something new and different. I like his ability to speak with people. When you're around Phil, you feel good about the conversations that you take place. Very upbeat, very positive, and a can-do attitude. And I think that that's sometimes a rare commodity in people, but it's not rare in Phil. So I think whatever endeavors he puts his mind to, he's going to have the ability to go places in those endeavors.
Do you feel that football has had an impact in your own experience as being a football expert, that growing up playing football would, make a man the man he is through that sport?
Definitely think so. And I think in Phil's case, football has been a big influence, a big part of making him the person that he is today, and probably a framework for the future. I can tell you that football, in my experience, dealing with young men and having the opportunity of being involved in football and football shaping my life, I've seen it have the ability to shape many people's lives, and all for the good. The discipline, the self-sacrifice, the ability to work with others, a teamwork approach, and the fact that you put everything into it, you prepare hard for it, and sometimes you don't always win, but you come back at them the next week, and I think that's a good thing.
Awesome, Coach. What is the nicest thing you have seen Phil do?
Well, I've seen Phil give of himself for the benefit of others. When we were involved in the CDFL, Phil was one of the first people to get on board, so to speak, with that concept. And during the games, and in the preseason, he was always willing to help other players with their development. And unfortunately, he got hurt during the CDFL season, but he was right there with the team right up to the championship, and never abandoned his teammates, and always there from a positive approach and standpoint. So that's an attribute that I see when I reflect upon Phil.
And let's see, where do you see Phil in 5 years, Coach?
Well, I don't know if Phil's going to be in the NFL. Quite frankly, I don't think he's going to be in the NFL. But I think he's going to take his football experiences and apply them to something very creative, something that will enhance the lives of other people. And I don't know exactly where that will be, but I think that that's his destiny.
All right, Coach. So far, this has been a great interview. And now, are you aware that Phil has, in the past couple years, been becoming a recognized actor?
I do know that he has an interest and an ambition in that field. I think his personality lends himself to that. I think that he has the ability to have people like him, and I think that's important. I've never seen him kind of behind the camera, so I don't know if he has a camera presence or not. Um, Somewhat photogenic, so I can see him being an actor.
Are there any actors that Phil remind you of?
Well, I can't say. I think he's kind of unique in that regard. Um, I could say, to answer that question, probably like the type of role that he would be in. I think he's versatile enough to be in a very dramatic role, but I also think that there's a humorous side and an ability to make people laugh. So, I don't think he's the next Martin Sheen, but I definitely think that he could be on a sitcom or he could be in a dramatic series.
Awesome, Coach. And what colors do you think of when you hear Phil?
Wow, colors, huh? Okay, I would say red and blue to signify how I got to know him as a football player at Goshen. Also, the red in the uniform from the Bergen Bears that he played for, and maybe a little bit of black in there too for the black and blue because he played football very tough and wasn't afraid to get dirty.
Awesome, Coach. Now, are there any other comments that you would like to talk about?
Um, I would just like to say to anybody out there who doesn't know Phil, or even the people who do know Phil, that he's a young man who really does work to help other people, and he's a young man who I think has learned the valuable lessons of life. Is that we're not an individual in this world; we're all together, and he's always willing to help out. So, in whatever endeavor he does, I think he's going to be an asset to that endeavor.
Well, Coach, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to do this interview with you. And for one final question, if Phil were to break a law, what would it be?
I'd probably say it would be. I would say probably speeding. And the reason why is he's always on the go and always got some sort of project or some sort of adventure to be involved in, or does so many things with his life that there's not enough hours in the day. And I find that most people who live their life like that end up getting speeding tickets every once in a while.
Well, Coach, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And if there's anybody out there you'd like to say hello to?
Just to the whole world watching, this has been a good experience. I'm glad I could be involved in it, and I hope that I've shed some light about Phil and this project.
All right. God bless, Coach. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Cut.